Welcome back, folks, to the WP-Tonic show. It's episode 293. We've got a great guest on the show today. We've got Blair Williams from MemberPress. Blair, would you like to quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Blair Williams. I'm the creator of MemberPress and the CEO of the company. And we provide an awesome membership plugin to help people get their membership sites created and maintained and successful. So,
it's a great plugin. And we've got Kim, my co-host. Would you like to introduce yourself, Kim?
Absolutely. I'm Kim Shivler. I'm a instructor. I focus on online courses, membership sites, and I can attest that MemberPress is a great plugin. I even brought my latest favorite shirt you guys gave me. I got that at WordCamp Vegas last year. So
nice.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if you can watch the show live at around 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Wednesdays on our Facebook page. So if you were doing that, you would have been able to see Kim's MemberPress shirt. What a treat. I am your main host. I'm the founder of WP-Tonic. We're a maintenance support company that only specialises in WordPress with an emphasis on membership and learning management system support. Before we go into the interview, I want to do a quick plug for our sponsor. And this week, our sponsor is LIFTERLMS. What can I say about Lifter? Chris and Thomas and their team at LIFTERLMS, just a great learning management system plugin for WordPress. Fantastic support. We use it on a number of clients' websites with member when appropriate, and it's a great bit of software, and they're supporting the show this week.
Also, those guys are just all around great guys too, Chris.
They are.
Yes.
So.
They certainly are, and they're offering, which will be in the show notes, they're offering 15% with a coupon code, which you'll be able to get on the website. To buy any of their packs that increase the functionality of the basic system. So we're going to go straight into the interview now with Blair. So what initially got you into developing a membership plugin, Blair? What were the thoughts behind it? What got you into the game?
Yeah, well, it was kind of the same story that you hear all the time with technical founders. It was a scratch your own itch kind of a thing. I'd actually created several membership solutions for clients back, 10 years ago. Did a lot of stuff with Ruby on Rails actually, and built out a few. And then I heard about this thing called WordPress, and started playing around with kind of the plugin architecture. And I thought, I wonder if there's some like membership plugins available, and there were a couple at the time, and so we created a couple of websites for clients using using the plugins of the day, and really what it came down to was that they worked fine, but they weren't exactly what we needed. I found that they didn't protect exactly. I'm sure that some of them that exist today have kind of fixed some of those issues, but they didn't fully protect like if you did like a standalone file, it didn't fully protect it, or even like the sign up process wasn't like totally I don't know, it was a little bit janky, a little bit weird, and they were just not what we wanted. And so I just had the great idea to since I'm a glutton for punishment, I'm going to build a membership plugin. How does that sound? So
something you do in a weekend, really?
Yeah. It's just like we did. One afternoon decided, hey, let's crank this out. No, but it was a pretty ambitious project, actually. You know, in retrospect, I didn't. I don't know if I'd ever start a project if I knew what I was getting into, of course. But it's been good, and you know, the result of that was MemberPress, which we've used not only for to sell to people, but we've used it on a number of membership sites, including our own. MemberPress.com runs on MemberPress, so it's been a really great ride for us. We're loving it. So
what, who do you see as your perfect customer? Because no bit of software can be perfect for everybody. If it does, it tends to get very bloated and very Swiss Army knife like-ish.
Right.
So normally the best in breed, they do a lot, but they're focused at a certain group of users, and maybe not right for another smaller group. I don't know if that you see that the case.
Yeah.
If it is, would you like to give us some details?
Yeah. So we've tried to avoid that to some degree by creating add-ons in addition to MemberPress, because a membership plugin is very susceptible to that kind of Swiss Army knife kind of thing, and we advertise ourselves as the all-in-one plugin, and so it's a little bit misleading because that sounds like bloatware or whatever, but like most of the kind of the additional functionality, like we've got a lot of it separated out into different add-ons. But I would say our perfect customer is somebody who wants to offer mainly memberships. I mean, we do have an integration with Woo and a few other shopping cart solutions but we're more focused on like the kind of the lynda.com style, where you basically have a recurring membership. It really excels in the recurring, transactions. And so, I mean, you can sell one-off, kind of memberships, here and there, or like products with MemberPress, but it really the focus is on these memberships, these recurring memberships. So
that's great. Kim, have you got a question? I'm sure you got your questions for Blair.
Oh, I do. I will say, not just on questions though, just to say on the one-off products, not necessarily physical products, but it handles one-off courses beautifully when I integrate it with LearnDash. So it may be a single course fee that may be linked to a private member area, but may not be recurring. And I have to say it handles that beautifully, Blair.
Excellent.
So I don't want people to think you can only do recurring with it, especially in the course of online courses, which is my specialty. Right. It integrates there and handles that absolutely beautiful.
Right. Yeah. The physical products is probably what I was kind of referring to there. Yeah. So
excellent.
Well, that's good to hear though.
Yeah, it's wonderful for that. And it's something I recommend. I've spoken about it at WordCamps. So along with that, I do have a question then.
Yeah.
When you are planning your membership site, I have some ideas because I've put clients through it, but do you have any top 4 things other than picking the right plugin that people need to consider that you see them forget when they're planning their launch that's going to come back and bite them during the launch?
I would say there's a very big number one, and that is to get, I guess from a technical perspective, and that is to make sure that you have an SMTP service lined up.
Yes.
Because the delivery, we have really big issues with the email deliverability portion of it with people who don't, hey, my emails aren't getting, because membership sites they're all about, communication with your members, right? Mm-hmm. And MemberPress offers actually some really great tools for communicating with your members. But if you don't have, SendGrid or Mailgun or something like that installed on your WordPress site, you're not going to necessarily, your customers may not get those emails, right? So that would be, I would say that would probably be the number one. And so, yeah, so I think that generally, The other thing probably is that you do have to do marketing. A lot of people, I think, simplify kind of this down and they think, oh, hey, I'm on the web now, and people are going to just, if you build it, they will come, kind of a thing. And that's just not the case. I mean, those of us who have been kind of in the industry, we know that that is just naive to think that way. But, a lot of people who haven't gone through it before in the past have, that's, I know that I thought that probably initially when I started, but, marketing is a definite, important, task to be doing on there.
Yeah.
So.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Yeah, the email's one of my top ones too. And just to tell everyone, that's not a MemberPress limitation. That's because of the way WordPress handles email, that you need that other one. It's not that MemberPress is doing that. Right.
And actually the web host too, a lot of times what will happen is if you just out of the box, when you're sending email, WordPress will try to connect to your web host basically to send those emails. And I don't think that the web hosts are, primarily their servers are not set up for that kind of thing. And so, getting something like SendGrid, in there is really critical, because it's just set up to do the, transactional emails. So.
Absolutely. Thank you. And so along those lines, what do you have, any treats that are coming up as far as updates? And along those lines, could we offer back up a little bit. One of the challenges my customers have is when they offer a coupon for a free month. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of loss of shopping cart when people go through the two-step registration process. The first step creates them as a user, and then on the next page,
right,
they have to enter their credit card information, and a lot of times for these free trials, people drop. Any way to get around that in the future?
Yes. So that's actually one of our top priorities right now is the shopping cart. And so you should see something like that drop. I don't ever give dates out because software development is it's a bloodbath. Let's just put it that way. That's currently in the works though. We are currently working on this. That's one of our big focuses right now. So
Great.
Yeah, the one-step checkout has kind of always been one of those things that we have been, trying to get to, but this year we're making it happen. So.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Jonathan, other questions?
No, you've got another question and then we can go for a break, Kim. So you've got a quickie?
Oh, I don't know if it's a quickie. I have a few. On your own membership platform.
Yeah.
Since you're running on MemberPress, now I know what I'm looking at in the back end there.
Yep.
What do you find with your members as far as communication to us? What are the biggest challenges you've had over the time you've had it, and how did you overcome those to make it a more successful membership area of people?
Yeah, so in our case, it's slightly different. Than a traditional membership site, because we're selling software. So we sell software, and then we have. But I would say that the number one thing for us has been, support. So we've gone through. Well, we started with just email. So that's it. We're definitely beyond that now, but. I do think, and we have a couple of articles on our blog about this, but really, I think a lot of membership sites could definitely benefit from using a really good help ticket kind of a system. So we use Help Scout, and MemberPress actually has an integration with Help Scout. And we've really enjoyed Help Scout quite a bit. There are other ones out there, not that are explicitly integrated with MemberPress, but could definitely be integrated through use of the developer tools and Zapier. a lot of good ones out there are like Drift and Intercom. So I would definitely recommend, something to that effect for communicating with your members, especially if you're in kind of a support intensive kind of setup, or just, and I guess for a lot of, like, maybe your needs aren't to the point where you need a help scout or something like that, but I would definitely recommend looking at like WP Forms or Formidable Forms to get like, or Ninja, like to get a form on your site, like some kind of a contact form, just so people can get a hold of you. I mean, a lot of membership, you'd be surprised how many just forget about, hey, I'm putting a course out there, but there's no contact form or anything, right? So I would definitely recommend something to that effect. And if your needs are better or bigger, then go with the full, we couldn't exist without, support tickets, that's for sure. So.
Absolutely. All right, Jonathan, time for our break.
Yes, that was a fantastic answer. I totally agree with it,
Great.
Blair. We're going to go for our break, folks. We'll be back. We'll be discussing with Blair more about memberships, his plugin, and what he's learnt, the scars. We'll be back. We'll be back in a few moments, folks. We're coming back, folks. We've had a great chat with Blair Williams. MemberPress, a really fantastic plugin. Love it to bits. So you were hinting when you first developed it in the previous section of our chat that you first released it. You were a little bit naive that they will come. So how did you, in the early days of MemberPress, looking back, how did you start getting traction for the plugin?
Well, I would definitely say that one of the big things for us was the affiliate program that we had, and we made some really good connections by going to conferences. So conferences are they're a big deal. I mean, I know all of us want to work in our basements, in our PJs or whatever, in the dark. I don't know, but like it's really important to get out there and shake hands with people, get to know people. I think that the friendships that I've made at just at conferences really has really benefited our business like way more than probably could have happened just by random transactions online, kind of a thing. And so I definitely recommend getting out there and putting yourself out there if you're planning on being in business. And the affiliate program really helped us quite a bit too. We do have an affiliate plugin as well that we wrote to kind of scratch our own itch as well, Affiliate Royale, and so we've always had an affiliate program on MemberPress, and that's really helped. I think now we're kind of getting to the point where we have more traction in terms of like our just kind of top of mind presence out there, but especially early on, it was critical to get influencers to talk about us and to get our name out there a little bit. So I would definitely recommend an affiliate program as well. So,
but it's not easy to get traction with an affiliate program, is it?
No, it's not.
Got any insights to anybody that's looking at starting an affiliate program? It applies to people that start in their own membership sites, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because they might be looking at affiliate themselves. Got any insights how you start getting traction with that?
So first of all, I should preface that by saying that managing an affiliate program is not for everybody. But if you have a product and you want a good way to get your name out there, an affiliate system can be fantastic for you. So there's first the technical stuff, which is, I would say, pretty straightforward. You can either use Affiliate Royale or Affiliate WP or share a sale, or the kind of the affiliate network. So that technical issue, aside from that, I would say that the most success we have had has been in just affiliates that we know personally. So again, getting out to conferences and that kind of thing, getting to, building those relationships is just critical, because we get affiliate applications all the time from just random people. And we've had affiliate fraud. We've had affiliates, they have these kind of sneaky ways that they'll steal credit cards. And then what they'll do is they'll buy products with their affiliate link and try to basically launder money through you. So like, you have to be vigilant in who's promoting you, and that's why those personal relationships are probably like they're the key. Because I know, like, when like say like Chris Lemma, for instance, like I'm friends with Chris, and like if an affiliate transaction comes in through him, then I know him. I know it's not fraud. I know it's legit, right? Because I have a friendship with him. But some person off the street, even somebody who we've vetted, right? It's just unclear sometimes. And so I would just say the personal relationships are big. Another thing that I would probably recommend, especially for people who are just barely getting started, would be to go out and, so everything kind of starts on the internet with keyword research, I feel like. So keyword research is key. Once you kind of know the keywords that people are using to search for your business on, Google, and the demographics of people that are searching, that are interested in you on Facebook, kind of a thing, then you can start figuring out where your users hang out and what kind of groups they're part of. And once you figure that out, and you may already know kind of what your market is, right? But once you kind of know what your market is and what, who they're listening to, right? You find those influencers, the people that are blogging about things, or maybe it's as simple as just looking up who's blogging about your competitors, right? And and so once you find that out, then you approach them. You approach these, these bloggers, these influencers, to find out, hey, what can we do to get, my product in front, on your blog, or can I do a guest post on your blog, or can I, so a lot of it has to do with outreach, trying to get, just to get your name out there with people who, in front of people who are potential customers, right? And so we all read blogs, we all, kind of have our, gurus that we listen to, right? And so, trying to get into those kinds of channels can be really beneficial. So
that's great, Blair. Kim, got a question?
I do. I actually love where that's going on the affiliate piece, because I think it's so important to people. And from a business perspective of affiliate, for recurring businesses, so say you're selling that recurring membership, what percentage do you see of people that actually give a affiliate commission on ongoing revenue versus just the first time, and what percents they should set to actually make it interesting for the person recommending them?
Yeah, there are a lot of different strategies, and to be honest, I mean, so first of all, our data is very limited as WordPress plugins, because we don't really have a lot of information about but the strategies that we've seen anecdotally through support and through customer outreach, we've seen several different strategies for how you do that with a recurring revenue. Like, so for instance, Affiliate Royale is set up to do, like, you can do just the initial transaction, which then incentivizes the affiliate to, well, in theory, incentivization can be misleading sometimes. Like, who knows exactly how it will influence people. But anyway, so you can just pay on that first transaction and then nothing on the recurring transactions. You can do all of the transactions. We've had so you can pay out recurring. So like every additional, sale can have a recurring transact or commission associated with that. We've had a few requests as of late, which is interesting, to not pay commission on the first one, but to only pay commission on the recurring ones. And Affiliate Royale does not currently do that. I think maybe Affiliate WP might do that, but so there are different kind of ideas around that. The other thing too is it depends on kind of what your price point is and how much it costs you as a merchant to deliver your product, right? So take for instance MemberPress, right? So MemberPress, I mean, is a downloadable piece of software, right? So the actual delivery is not, I mean, it's basically free, right? I mean, clearly we have to pay hosting fees and all that, but there is a pretty high, support cost. It's a high touch product. It's, people are running their businesses on it. And so we have to make sure that we have a lot of support around it. But then you take something like an ebook, right? Or some other kind of really low support, kind of setup. And you don't, I mean, there's effectively no cost on that, right? They get the book and they've got the book, right? Maybe you'll have a few refunds here and there, or maybe you'll have a few people that will contact you, but it's not a high touch thing, right? So the commissions, can be I've heard of people, offering really high commissions on ebooks, kind of a thing. And then on, more software oriented things, it's going to be a little bit lower. MemberPress is a recurring product, right? So, you pay for support and updates for, yearly. So we have a recurring commission of 25%, right? So it's pretty, it may not be as high as that 80%, on an ebook or whatever, right? 70, 80%, but it's recurring. It's a higher touch product. And it tends to be something where if somebody really gets involved with it and gets, it builds their system on it, it's not that likely they're going to change it out, right? I mean, unless we do something really unforgivable, or something, right? So that's kind of the idea behind it. But there are all kinds of different strategies, and I guess my point is that you should pick the one that drives the behavior that you want. That's what it's all about with affiliate stuff. And sometimes, like I was saying earlier, it's hard to gauge what that behavior is going to be until you start kind of trying it out. So,
Great. Thank you.
I think that's great. We're going to wrap it up for the podcast part of the show. But I hope Blair's going to stay on for a little while, which you'll be able to watch on the website as our bonus content. He's also been generous and provided a little special offer for the listeners and watchers of the show, and that's 10% off MemberPress, which you'll be able to get the coupon code in the show notes. So that will probably be all available over the weekend, folks. I think it's been a fantastic discussion. Like I say, we're going to continue the discussion for a little while, which you'll be able to watch on the website. Blair, how do people get hold of you, find out what MemberPress is doing? What's the best ways of finding out what you and your crew are up to?
Well, the number one is the blog. So we post at least weekly. We have I think pretty valuable information out there. It's memberpress.com/blog, and then but we also put out all of our updates on there as well. So any kind of software updates we'll put on there. We'll put just anything that we're doing, we'll post on there. And if people have questions, because we, one of the things that we talked about here, this checkout, the single page checkout, we haven't really talked about that on the blog, but certainly if it's something that you're concerned with, you can definitely hit us up on our contact form. And, we've got some great support, people that will answer, those questions and any other support that you have really on the plugin. So, yeah, that's probably the best way.
That's great. And Kim, how can people find out what you're up to, Kim?
They can find me at kimshivler.com or right here on the WP-Tonic podcast.
Oh, thanks. And if you want to find out what WP-Tonic's up to, go to the WP-Tonic. Like I say, we have a blog section. Our latest article is advice on how to increase what you're charging for your courses. Something of, I would have thought, reasonable interest for most people to run in a membership site. We got that, and we got a couple of other great articles coming out this month. If you really want to support the show, there's two things you can do. But leave us a review on iTunes. It really does help to promote the show, and it helps us get really interesting guests on the show. And the other thing is, do a shout out, a Twitter to our sponsor, LIFTERLMS. Like I say, that they are also supplying a coupon code which will be available in the show notes for 15%, and we really appreciate them coming on board as a reasonably, hopefully a long-term sponsor of the show, because they're just a great team. We're going to wrap it up. Like I say, we're going to continue the discussion for a little while with Blair, and we'll see you next week, where we'll have somebody doing something really interesting with WordPress or doing something online that's interesting. We'll see you next week, folks. Bye. Right, Blair. So how do you see the WordPress ecosystem in general, especially around membership and all the plugins? Because I see a lot of the real competition is coming from fully hosted membership solutions like Teachable, and there's a lot of these are VC supported. Would you agree with that statement? And secondly, like I say, how do you see the ability of WordPress to respond to these challenges?
So, yeah, I think that, there's definitely some, I mean, Teachable is big, and there are a lot of other, kind of competitors that are really big. From our experience, what we have seen is that we're not terribly worried about that. I mean, there are a lot of other kind of hosted solutions out there as well. The real draw, I think, for people with WordPress, and especially like a WordPress plugin, is that you have, so with a managed solution, you've got, it's easy to maintain because they maintain it for you, right? But your level of customization goes down, and sometimes I'm sure that Teachable does a good job of this or whatever, but sometimes it can be difficult to pull your data out of those things, or if it's not difficult to pull it out, who knows what format it's in or what kind of a deal it is. So with a WordPress-based solution, you have access to the database. I mean, you are basically in the driver's seat fully. So I think that especially for memberships, this is a real benefit to a lot of users, and I think a lot of like savvy, people that are building membership sites recognize this. They don't want to be necessarily in a situation where they don't have control over, like, the complete control over their look and feel, the complete control of their data, and so yeah, it's. I think there's always going to be a group of people that are highly interested in kind of those benefits of using a WordPress membership as their, the base of their membership site.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer, and I totally agree with it. What got a question, Kim?
I do, but that answer was really good. On the configuration piece, so if somebody's new to it, where do you find from a support perspective? So for those of us who do training for this,
yeah,
where for you in the support section do you find people get hung up the most when they're just getting started, so that those of us who teach make sure we're covering that, and maybe it doesn't get to you? Yeah,
no, there is one thing that really is the most, and I don't know if it's something that we can really fix with MemberPress or with, it, but it has to do with those they call them different things on the three. So we support Stripe, PayPal, and Authorize.net, and these postbacks. So like on Stripe, it's called a webhook, and that basically in MemberPress we rely on the credit card processor to do the recurring transactions, and then it notifies us of the transaction. On PayPal, it's an IPN, right? So the people that first getting started, the biggest mistake that we see is that they'll set everything up properly, but they won't configure their IPN/webhook/ silent post. And so what happens is that all their sales look like they're pending. So they'll get a real sale, but in MemberPress it'll be like, hey, this is a pending sale, it's not complete. And it's like, well, yeah, because MemberPress doesn't know until the credit card processor, pings you back. So I would say that is the number one issue that we have. And so
make sure
help
you
on
configure
training
your
people
webhooks.
with that. Yeah, just configure those webhooks. You'll be good. You're 90% there.
A blatant plug. Get a good support company.
Exactly. Blatant plug.
Exactly.
Go on, Kim. Go on, have a question.
No, I've seen that issue, so I appreciate hearing that. And then the other one, is it possible, I haven't found a way yet, and if not, maybe in the future, where we could offer a free trial without credit card, because that's a selling point sometimes.
Yeah. There are actually some workarounds currently, but it involves creating 2 separate membership levels. And you basically upgrade from one membership level to the other one. That's one thing that we may not have out this year, but that's definitely on our radar. And so the workaround for now, it works for quite a few people, and it's what we recommend doing anyway for now, because until we kind of come up with maybe a better process for it. But the reason that is that it will automatically upgrade them or push them to be upgraded, basically, and to enter their credit card at that point. So you can set that up if you have 2 separate memberships, one that's free that only exists for a certain trial period, and then at the end of that trial you basically can email people to get them to upgrade to the full version of it. So
I love that workaround. That will work for for this one situation I'm thinking of. It'll work. Great. Thank you.
Good.
That's great.
Jonathan.
Yeah. So I'm getting my mind around what you were saying about, these hosted solutions.
Yeah.
And the flexibility. Has this, but obviously when you were first starting this, can you give us some insights about how was you a little bit naive about the level of support that you were going to have to offer? And you can give some insights about how you dealt with the with support as the plugin grew and that.
Yeah, it's been, so I'll tell you, so when I first launched my first plugin, which was not MemberPress, it was Pretty Links, I launched it, and then a couple of days later, I started getting hit up. Well, I just checked the plugin page, and there were a whole bunch of people on the support forum that were trying to get support, and I hadn't even considered it when I released my first kind of free plugin. I was like, oh my gosh. And people were getting mad, they were getting very upset. And I didn't even have a contact form or anything on my website. So that's like where I started with this, like it was just people upset with me, right? So then I moved to a thing where
I don't know why you seem very
I know
you seem very friendly, Blair, very chatty. You seem to be up for a chat.
Yeah, but an abandoned support forum is probably not. It's like I'm going to have people with pitchforks and torches coming after me. But anyway, so then we moved to I moved to an email solution. Email. Gmail. right? So that was kind of the first step. But we've been kind of lucky in that our plugins haven't grown like this, where we have to, start adding all these resources, and they've kind of grown over time. So over time, I've added, I think even pretty early on back in 2009, which is when I first launched Pretty Links. I hired a support person pretty much immediately, and then now we've got numerous support people. We've got I think 3 or 4 guys, people that do support, and so I guess my recommendation would be to first of all, don't overdo it, right? I mean, you're still going to, especially early on, you're going to have to be doing a lot of support yourself. But then when it starts to get to the point where it's unmanageable, you got to start thinking about hiring people. And they're great. There's some great people out there that have experience potentially in your industry. You've got to just find them, and then I would recommend getting a ticketing system in place. That's really important. But yeah, it's all about, I guess, I call it the bench, like in baseball or whatever. You've got to, have a large enough bench of people that can, go in there and hit the ball for you, because when it's just you, or even just 2 of you, it can get kind of crazy. So I would recommend getting as many people as you can kind of afford or need on that bench, so that you aren't, because what happens is when you are answering all the support, you're not progressing in your business, right? So I mean, to some level you are, because you're feeling the customer's pain, you're helping them through things, and I still answer support questions, even to this day. But if I were answering all the support, or if I were answering even a small portion of the support, I mean, I just wouldn't get anything else done. That single page checkout, that wouldn't happen. Nothing.
You got to get that done.
Not that I'm implementing that either. I have I've got some really talented developers now as well. So anyway, yeah. So I would recommend that. I would recommend hiring good people and getting a ticketing system in place. I guess another thing that I would probably recommend highly is to get some write out some kind of formulated emails. So if you start getting requests repeatedly, a lot of these ticketing systems will have kind of templates that you can write out, and you can customize them, of course, but that really saves time on typing as well. And get a process, set up. What is our process going to be for, cancellations or refunds, kind of a thing, or what's our process for when they ask this or that, and so getting those kinds of things dialed in can be can really save you a lot of time and help you to be way more effective in support.
I'd love to continue the discussion, but I've got to notice the time that you spent with us. So I think we end it now, Blair. Okay. Got to be respectful of your time, because you've got a lot of stuff going on, haven't you? You've got to get that one-page shopping cart finished off.
That's right. We got to get that thing done.
Got to get that finished off. So we're going to end the show, and like I say, next week we'll have somebody else doing something really interesting with WordPress, or something online in general of interest. We'll see you next week, folks. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Oh, Blair, thank you so much. This was
Absolutely.
great.